Hi, my name is Jackie Murray, and I'm your guide through the fifth grade technology curriculum by Structured Learning. This is 32 lessons, comprehensive curriculum starting with A and moving to Z, covering everything you need to know. It is scaffolded, lesson to lesson, and year to year. So if you started in kindergarten, you're well prepared for fifth grade. If you started in fourth grade, you probably will want to look at the detail and decide where, okay, I need to take this a little slower. I need to provide some background here. You'll have to look at it a little more. If you need help with that, I'm real happy to help you. Part of the curriculum is a discussion forum and a office hours. So let me show you that. It's under our wiki. It's a curriculum companion wiki. You probably already are watching this video through that. So I'm on fifth grade, and here's the 6th edition. You'll click this down arrow and it shows all the videos available. There's the introductory one, which I definitely want you to watch before you start this one. It's an overview. And then come back and watch this one. If you're in the 5th edition, then you start again with the overview, with the intro, and then you go through all the lessons here. But they're all available because they were created last year. So this is, if you go through the lesson and you have questions, you can ask them on the discussion board here. Just add your topic and your question, and one of us will answer it. Everyone who works this board is a master teacher familiar with the structured learning curriculum, so we will definitely be able to help you. Let me go back here to 5th grade. We also have office hours, which is a virtual meeting where you come in virtually and ask your questions. All you have to do is fill in this form and tell us when you'll be there. They're always at 2 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday. So you just tell us you will be there at that time and we'll show up. But if no one says they're going to be there, then we probably won't show up. So be sure if you do need help and you want it through the office hour function rather than discussion board, you fill this form out so we know. Okay, so let's go through the manual. I am going to start briefly with the introduction. A lot of this was covered in the overview video, so I'll go kind of quickly, but programs you'll need, you'll see they're all pretty generic. We're trying to keep them very affordable, very free or affordable, and the basics, because this is teaching technology skills for project-based learning to integrate with your core curriculum. It's not meant to be, okay, we're going to teach you how to be Photoshop experts. And here, this shows what's included in each lesson for you. Lots of material. If you've used the curriculum before, you are familiar with this. It isn't daunting, but if this is your first year with it, you'll look at all this and go, how do I tell the difference? You will. It will make sense, and you'll start to really appreciate that most of what you need for every lesson is right here. The step-by-step comes after all this. But you've got the vocabulary, the problem solving you'll use, skills, so the scaffolded skills that students should know from prior years, or new skills, what you want to stop and make sure they understand. Standards that are addressed, so if you have to fill out some sort of a lesson plan for your principal, you've got the standards right here. Assessment strategies, so if you want to, if you have one of those schools where they really want to know in detail how students are assessed, this gives you a lot of ideas for that, and I'll get into that again in another section of the workbook. Essential question, big idea are right here. Your preparation is right down here, so you know before I start this lesson, this is what I have to do. Warm up, if there is one, and the expected amount of time, usually they're 45 minutes. Sometimes they're longer though, so pay attention to that too. And then at the end of the lesson, you have the exit ticket, a 3 to 5 minute activity the students perform so you can see what they learned in the lesson, or as a quick formative assessment for you. And then differentiation, what do you do with students who need a different way? So this gives you some ideas here. Curriculum map, this is for K through 8. All the skills that are covered, general terms, and what year they're covered in. So you can kind of see when you do something like the World Wide Web, they're Every year covers that. Every year covers digital citizenship, but you get into games and it's 7th and 8th where that's focused on, and then you get into keyboarding, it's every year again. So you can easily see here what's covered and when it's covered. Now, if you go down to this curriculum map, this is just for 5th grade, and it covers each month and the topics. So this you can see that April you cover a whole ton of stuff because you're wrapping everything up. But you can see September you start with blogs, you're starting with introductory stuff. You can, or you can look at it from the idea of word processing. Here you cover it 4 months, you're dealing with word processing. But if you're talking about problem solving, it's every single month. So these are good posters, these two, to put on your wall for other teachers, parents, your administration to see this is what's going on in this class. Let's see, habits of mind. This is also, this could be depth of knowledge or the IB learner profile, whatever works for your school. It's these higher order thinking skills that you want to make sure are always included in the technology curriculum. These symbols show what's particular pieces that are covered in lessons. This one is for if there's a video for students to watch. This one if there's a project or anything that they're going to work with classmates on. This is for pedagogic topic articles for you, so you know that's available, and then posters that you want to print out and put on the wall in your classroom. This is for annotation opportunities for students in their student workbooks. So if you're using student workbooks, this will tell you when there's a very direct tie-in you want to be aware of. These can be, they're PDFs, you can load them on any device you want, so no worries about that. Typical lesson if you need that. Here's your table of contents, all the lessons covered with links to them. Certificate at the end. So at the end of the year, you can award a certificate to 5th graders that they've finished what was expected of them. Table of images, and then table of assessments, lots of assessments. You don't have to do them all, they just give you opportunities. Scope and sequence, here's your 5th grade. You can see if this is your first year with a technology curriculum, you're definitely not going to be at the completed stage in these. So you want to go through and change this to whatever it is, IWM, whichever one it is. Or if you've had other lessons in the past and students are at that level, that's perfect. When you're working on it, any of these that are covered, and you can see exactly what's covered in 5th grade because there's a letter in there, like these two aren't, but these 3 are, then you check off the line in front, check off the box in front of that skill so you know you've covered it. I like doing this with students as a review for them of what they've accomplished. Okay, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. And then here's our lesson 1. So as promised, here's all the different things that you'll want to know. The materials required, teacher prep. There's nothing unusual in the materials required. Let's see, you'll have to do, see nothing. Posters on the wall, tech tip posters on the wall, test equipment to make sure the students, make sure it works. But by 5th grade, if it doesn't work, just be aware that it's something students can solve. If it isn't something they can solve, then fix it. But if it's something they can solve, the headphones don't work, and all it means is they're plugged in the wrong computer, let them fix it. Let them put their hand up and say, hey, my headphones don't work. Well, what do you think you do? Because that is a scaffolded skill, problem solving. They're going to have several new skills, and then they're going to have a lot of scaffolded skills. So you'll see these right over here. So the posters that are included in the back of the book for this lesson, you'll see some of them are brand new to these students, and that's why they're under new. In general, essential question, how do I use technology? Develop an awareness of components, fundamental hardware issues, and basic operations of school digital device. It's the big idea. If they leave the class knowing these two, knowing the answer to this question and this big idea, you've done a good job this lesson. Now, there's nothing specific. We'll type 45 words per minute. We don't do that in these. You won't ever find one like that. So it's a more general approach because it's hopefully fitting the student and not fitting some concept in the sky. Okay, you want to collect rules for the classroom, and this you can start with basic rules. You could start with the ones they had last year, or you can start with a blank sheet and have them tell you what has worked in the past and what they'd like to see as the rules for this class. In their student workbook, they will have this. So they'll start saying, yeah, no food or drink. And you'll stand up, you might have a big blank sheet of paper on the wall and you have your magic marker or on the class screen and your typewriter. So they might start calling these out that this is something I really would like. Missed class, make it up. Wash hands to use equipment. They might notice, they might call this out. If they don't though, and it's something you really want, keep hands to yourself. You might prod them, remind them, what we had something that worked well last year about keeping hands to yourself. What do you think of that? Did that work? And get them adding the ones that you think are important and you know work to the list. This will, once this is done, if you have student workbooks, this is a great opportunity to introduce those student workbooks because they're going to open them up. They're going to use the annotation tool that your school has, either with Adobe Reader or iAnnotate or Notability, whatever you're using, and annotate right in their student workbook. So this is a great chance to introduce those student workbooks right away. Let's see. You may offer a keyboarding club and an after-school help club. The homework is all keyboarding. So if you have a student population that has difficulty with digital devices at home, it's a really good idea to offer an after-school keyboarding club. It doesn't need to be longer than 30 minutes because students will only type 15 minutes. So they'll come in, they'll sit down, they'll type their 15-minute homework, they'll leave. It'll take them 20 minutes. And at the same time offer, since you're already having students in your classroom, offer an after-school help where students can come in and ask for help on something, which you might be the one in charge of that, but preferably you'll have another student who volunteers to come in and help students who need help while their sibling is in some other after-school activity. So these are two really good options to offer after school to provide some equity for students who maybe don't have the most robust digital environment at home. Review homework, review the homework policy. It's all in the back of the book. It's all keyboarding. The first, I think I'm gonna, okay. The first 3 months, it's the 3 rows of on the computer, home row, QWERTY row, lower row. And then from there on, it's practicing all the keys. 5th grade, you want touch typing. You want speed and accuracy, touch typing. They're not looking at their hands. So you want them to cover their hands. Now, you're not home with them while they're watching, but if you have them keyboard for you a couple times a month, you're going to see pretty quick which students are practicing with their hands covered. Evidence board, they did this last year, probably, if they use this curriculum, they did. So it is where you have these badges available. They're printed out because this is a visual board where they take that badge and they stick it on the board. And once a month, you're going to ask them provide evidence of how you use the technology we've been talking about in class. So you're going to take whatever the lessons have been, if it's digital equipment or if it's a PowerPoint slideshow or a Canva flyer, whatever it is, and they're going to show how they use that at home. My mom had to make a flyer for a soccer team, or I made the flyer for our soccer team. I helped my mom look up an address on Google Earth, whatever it is, and you're going to say, that's good. Put their name, teacher, the evidence, and then you're going to post that on their spot here on the board. Eventually, you're going to have so many that they go all the way around the room. They go down, they go on this board, they'll go up to the ceiling, they'll go all the way around and around the classroom, and they'll go around the other back of the classroom, and kids are going to be watching this grow and grow, and then they're going to start to want to do more so they can make it grow more, and that's going to come back here where it started. And you're going to have such a visual evidence of how useful technology is to these kids and how much they know about it. You're going to be amazed. You'll love it. They'll love it. Problem solving board. These are basic problems. You're also going to use it for students to put the problems they have that you will then use in the problem solving board that comes up where they share how to solve problems. That's coming up in the future though, so we'll leave that for the moment. You can annotate this workbook right here. If you have a print book, you just write in it. That's easy. If you have a PDF, you use your annotation tool and it writes right there. And there's your differentiation options. So, okay. And then here's some of your articles. All right. I think that's it. All right. Let's look at what the students see. I think it's pretty similar to what you have. I'm not going to spend too much time here. Let's see. So you can see this, when they look at this, they see the essential question and they see their to-do list for the week. So they know this is what they're going to be graded on. These last two are in almost every month. Joined class conversation, left station as it was. You want them to always leave the station neat and orderly. You want them always involved when you have class conversations. Completed the exit ticket. A whole lot of these lessons have exit tickets, so you'll often see that there as a good formative assessment of their learning. And then the rest will be specific to the lesson. Successfully logged into class accounts. Understood digital citizen. And you won't know that if they don't share their knowledge. So then our step-by-step, here's where they took notes on the side of their, as they had that discussion in class. And this shows them exactly how they're supposed to sit. So you're not going to tell them, they're going to tell you in their evidence board. And that's really it. All right. Questions, please add them to the discussion board on our wiki or show up at our office hours, 2 p.m. Pacific time, Sundays. Right, guys? I look forward to chatting with you and have a great week. Bye.